Hello everyone, Courtney Zeller here, your Seattle Holistic Healthcare Practitioner. Today I want to take a few minutes and talk to you about your health in terms of function. So where do symptoms arise from, how it happens, and maybe what we can do about it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to use this whiteboard here, talk about some concepts, and we'll go from there. So first, when we talk about Chinese medicine, we have this word qi that we hear all the time. Now there are several different types of qi, and it's not just this, energy going on. It's actually a functional tool or a function unit. And we can actually see the different forms of qi translated through Western medicine. But that would take me an hour in and of itself, so that'll be another video. For today, we're going to talk about the word qi in terms of movement. So we have these two concepts. We have qi and we have blood. So blood is like food. It is the nourishment for our organs and our tissues. And qi is the driving force that pushes that blood where it needs to go. Where does it need to go? I already mentioned it. It goes to our organs and our tissues. So when we have good, healthy blood, good, healthy food, and we have proper qi, or the driving force, we get that food to where it needs to go, which is the organs and tissues. When our organs and tissues are well fed, then they have proper function. So they're doing their jobs. They're doing what they need to do. We're feeling good, we're feeling healthy, so we have health. We're feeling good, right? Of course, we don't live in a perfect world, so there are some things that interrupt this system. And what happens is it blocks that food getting to where it needs to go. And there's four main things that do this. The first one is trauma. So this is physical trauma, like a car accident or a big fall. So what happens? Well, I like to use the example of a broken bone. We fall, we break our wrist or break our arm, one of our bones, and we go to the doctor, we get it casted up, we do, several things, and our bone will heal, right? Over time. But what happens is we'll regain most of our function, but it'll never be the same as it was prior to that break. So that break is like a weak link in the body. It's where you're always going to be more susceptible to damage and where things just aren't going to work quite as well. So there's all sorts of traumas, right? The big ones like a broken bone, but also small ones. If we do a repetitive motion every day, that shoulder problem from being on the computer, carpal tunnel from being on the computer or writing, all of these things, are traumas from big to small, and they're going to block this qi and blood flow. What's the next one? The next one is toxins. And if any of you know me at all, I don't like this word toxins because it's used all the time and there's lots of misconceptions about it. But I'm using this word toxins, which is kind of this broad sense of something that is in your bloodstream that's not supposed to be there. So, certain amounts of inflammation are acceptable because we use inflammation to heal, but large amounts of inflammation, not supposed to be there. If you have leaky gut, if you have metabolites that are normal processes, like when you feel achy after a workout, that's lactic acid. A little bit, normal. Too much, or your body's not getting rid of it fast enough, not normal. So that's what I mean by toxins, just anything that is going to interrupt what the blood is supposed to be doing. So toxins, not food. The next one is going to be hormone balance. So we have all sorts of different hormones. We have sex hormones, we have hormones that regulate blood sugar, we have all sorts of different hormones that tell your body to do a function, to either turn that function on or turn that function off, hit the gas pedal, hit the brakes, etc. All these functions all over our body. As our endocrine system. Now our whole endocrine system plays this elegant dance with one another. So with one hormone's off, all of them are going to be off. So it's just like your body's getting these mixed signals and it doesn't know quite what to do. It doesn't know if it needs to speed up. It doesn't know if it needs to slow down. So we have a breakdown. And then the last one, I'll kind of put it off to the side here, is stress. Have you ever had stress? What happens? We get stressed out, we get tense, we get tight. What happens is that tension is squeezing those blood vessels, so it's preventing proper blood flow. So what happens? Well, we have these guys over here blocking that chi and blood flow, so we are not getting food to our organs and tissues. Our organs and tissues are now hungry. And I don't know about you, but when I'm hungry, I don't act very well. I don't function very well. I get kind of cranky. And that's the same thing that's going to happen to our organs and tissues. So they aren't getting what they need, so they begin to malfunction. They're not going to do their job right. And as this goes on for a long time, eventually it's going to wipe out this health, and you are going to get, write it over here, you're going to get a symptom. So this symptom, like an ache or pain or fatigue, anxiety, any of these symptoms are kind of like your body's check engine light. So if you are a car, you're driving, something goes wrong in the engine, so a light comes on your dashboard to say, hey, we have a problem. So what do? We take our car to the mechanic fixes the engine, and that light goes out. Unfortunately, we don't take quite as good of care of our bodies as we do our cars, because what happens is something goes wrong in the engine, our bodies, the light comes on, a symptom to say, hey, there's a problem, and what do? We go to a doctor who, instead of trying to fix the problem, they use some kind of medication or treatment that is going to cover up that light. So you're not going to see that light anymore. But the problem is still going on in the engine. So what happens? Well, this symptom isn't getting your attention. So something goes wrong in the engine, it's not getting fixed. Something else goes wrong. Oh, you get another check engine light, and then another check engine light, and then another check engine light. All of these are different symptoms that your body is trying to use to say, hey, we have a problem. So what we want to do with things like Chinese medicine and other holistic medicines or functional medicines is we don't want to cover up this symptom. We want to address these up here. We want to repair traumas as much as we can so they're having less of an impact. Make those weak links stronger so they're less likely to cause problems. We're going to eliminate your toxins or anything that's not supposed to be in your blood and help the rest of your body to keep up with that toxin load, to help your liver, your kidneys, even your skin and lungs help you to get rid of toxins. So we're going to help with those systems. We're going to help to balance your hormones and help your body to be more resilient to stress. Of course, part of it can be lifestyle. If you just live a very stressful life, we want to try to work on things that maybe will reduce some of that stress. But most of my job is actually to strengthen your body so that it's more resilient to that stress. So let's go back to here for a second. Something I want to point out is this malfunction part, because our bodies are incredible at adapting, right? So we have this breakdown. Let's make it a little continuum here. So let's say this is your level of function. Say when we're born with 100% of function. I don't think anyone's born with 100%, but for the sake of this, let's say we're born with 100% of function, and these guys over here are attacking, so our function is going down and down and down, and our body is compensating, because our bodies are really good at compensating until they aren't. So we're compensating, we're compensating, we're compensating, we're compensating, we're compensating. Oh, okay, we're not compensating anymore, and we're getting these symptoms. It takes us to get down to about 40% of proper functioning in order for our body to actually give us a symptom. So this has been going on a long time before your body gives you that check engine light. And then if this continues to go down, it goes down all the way to about 10% of function. That's when we actually have a disease. So if we have heart disease, we have cancer, we have something that's diagnosable in Western medical terms, something that needs more intensive treatment. So we have this section here where we're malfunctioning, we have symptoms, but it's not quite at a disease yet. So what happens when we're treating something that's in this malfunction part, in this symptom part, is that we want to wind things back and correct this and help boost your function. So we get you past this 40% so you're not symptomatic anymore, you're feeling good. But of course there's more work we can do. We want to push this as far as we can, right? Because we want to prevent these symptoms from coming back. We want our engine to run as well as possible so that we don't have these check engine lights. And we definitely want to prevent it from getting to that 10% where we have a disease. That's not to say that we can't still reverse a lot of this when a disease has gotten. We can't get this 10% up to 40 or even better. It's just going to take more work. All right, so that's the end of this. I hope you get a little bit of idea of how we look at the body in terms of function and what symptoms actually mean, and that it's just your body trying to tell you something's wrong. In the next video, I will go over some examples of this and how certain symptoms can be a predictor down the line of what some of these possible diseases are, and how malfunction can lead to symptoms and how it can lead to a disease. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions.